Hey everyone, thank you for joining. Thanks for coming here to our fourth annual Nursing Home Lives Matter Vigil. I'm about to share my screen. We're gonna get started with a video.
To honor
Yes.
those we lost on a cold winter's night, we gathered by candlelight. Faces hidden behind masks, silent tears, and the dark of night.
Tonight, we get to honor some of our friends, some of our loved ones that we have lost to this terrible pandemic.
Lucky always had a joke to tell. Jack was quiet, was a quiet down. He would sit by himself and watch TV. Ronald was a good roommate. Anthony was always reading his Bible. Marion was a full of life. William powerful short was stealing to steal kids away from drugs. Malika never had much.
I looked at the crowd. Still, the only faces I saw lay in a casket. For as long as we have life, their passing will not be in vain. You will never be forgotten.
Hello, everybody. Thank you all for being here this evening. I want to read that poem for you all in its entirety. First, let me just introduce myself. My name is Peter. I am Open Doors Reality Poet, also co-producer on the recently released documentary Fire to Dry Grass. I'm a black man with a mustache, goatee. I am wearing overhead headphones. I have a black Nike hoodie on, and I'm talking to you guys from the land of the Mansa Lenape and Wappinger people, also known as Roosevelt Island in Manhattan. So, to honor those we lost on a cold winter's night, we gathered by candlelight. So many friends and neighbors standing 6 feet from each other. As I took my place to speak, I looked around and recognized no one. Emotions began to peak. Faces hidden behind silent tears, masks, and the dark of night gave me the feeling I had to do this right. Words started flowing like water from the faucet. With every line, I looked into the crowd. Still, the only faces I saw lay on a casket. My emotions could fill a bucket. For as long as we have life, we will make this sacrifice. So their passing will not be in vain. It is because of them we have the courage to take on the machine. Voices in the dark with no faces, calling out your names. Long after you're gone, this movement will carry on. Nursing home lives matter will have been written in stone. You will never be forgotten. Until we meet again, peace out. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for being here tonight. My name is Vince, I'm Open Doors Director, Nursing Home Lives Matter founder, and I'm going to give y'all ones that may not know a little history on Nursing Home Lives Matter. Nursing Home Lives Matter was founded by me, once again, around 4 years ago, a little early in the pandemic. Once I really realized how much, and I call it the higher powers, was really caring about lives that was inside, living inside Kohler Nursing Home at the time of the beginning of the pandemic. We was definitely looked over, not cared on, no communication, and so on. And fast forwarding to today, there are still problems within the system that we're trying to attack, that we're we need help. And where do we get the help from? Starting from us that's in this call, the ones that care, really that's doing this work, that's like working together. It's a hard fight. It's something that's not going to happen overnight. I'm sure we all know that. But it's a fight, and it's a fight worth fighting. I see, and I'm not going to stop fighting it. And I suggest and hope that no one else stops fighting the fight, because they're definitely prioritizing dollars over human beings. Um, definitely something that needs to be brought to the forefront. It's slowly being brought, but not fast enough. You have people in nursing homes that's not getting the type of quality of care that they deserve, getting overlooked every day, each and every day. I see a different case every day, especially the ones that are not able to speak for themselves, that may not have any family, that, sad, you know, and when I say you look back 4 years ago and say what has happened. Well, in Kohler, I can say, being that we have a new CEO, the communication got better, but the higher powers didn't get better, if that makes sense. Because CEO has to answer to a higher power. And, like, you can replace the CEO, but I think if the system isn't going to get better, I think it can really change. And it's just up to us to keep fighting this fight and not giving up. I'm gonna read a poem wrote a little while ago. A little short poem. It's called "See You When I Get There." My eyes filled with tears as soon as I heard the news. It never occurred to me how much I can lose in just 1 month. Find myself wishing that it wasn't. Every time I think about pain is all I can feel. Tears fall from my eyes. I can barely see, but my heart tells me that they will be, they will always be with me. I'm glad she feels no pain. Now she lives in a perfect land. I can still feel the soft touch on my shoulder of her loving hand. I lie in bed and cry at night and don't feel any better in the morning. Like, I will love and miss her until the day we meet again, together in that perfect place above, filled with caring, sharing, and love. But until the day comes, I will wipe my tears away and hope to see her and them again someday. Thank you.
Good evening to everyone. So happy to have all of you here with us on our next visual. We're delighted to have each and every one of you. So welcome one, welcome all. At this time, we'll have Amanda and Weston as our spiritual leader. Will give us a word or two. My name is Francine Benjamin. I'm an Open Door member and a reality poet. I'm also the president here of our resident council. So now we'll have Amanda and Weston.
Thank you so much for having me. I pastor a church on Roosevelt Island, and it is an honor to be a part of another one of these vigils. I was thinking about when we do the work of justice, how weary it gets. And we can feel isolated and alone, and as though, does our work really matter? Does anyone really see us as we try to do things to make a difference? And from the Judeo-Christian worldview, We have a belief that we have a creator that not only sees us, but knows the most intricate parts of who we are. And so I wanted to read Psalm 139. It says, "O Lord, you have searched me and known me. You know when I sit down and when I rise up. You discern my thoughts from far away. You search out my path and my lying down and are acquainted with all my ways. Even before a word is on my tongue, Lord, you know it completely. You hem me in behind me and before me. You lay your hand upon me. Such knowledge is too wonderful for me. It is so high I cannot attain it. Where can I go from your spirit? Where can I flee from your presence? If I ascend to heaven, you are there. If I make my bed in the depths, you are there. If I take the wings of the morning and settle at the farthest limits of the sea, even there, your hand shall lead me. Your right hand shall hold me fast. If I say, surely the darkness will cover me and the night wraps itself around me, even the darkness is not dark to you. The night is as bright as the day, for darkness is as light to you. For it is you who formed my inward parts. You knit me together in my mother's womb. I praise you, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Wonderful are your works, that I know very well. My frame was not hidden from you when I was being made in secret, intricately woven in the depths of the earth. Your eyes beheld my unformed substance. In your book were written all the days that were formed for me, when none of them yet existed. How weighty to me are your thoughts, O God, and how vast is the sum of them. If I try to count them, they are more than the sand. I come to the end, and I am still with you. And so it is with that knowledge that we are not alone, that we are not an accident, but that each life matters so deeply and is worthy to fight for. That, as it says in Galatians, we don't grow weary in doing good, but at the proper time, there will be a huge harvest for all of the work that we have done. And so we look for opportunities to continue to do good around us. And so we bless this meeting and this time and this gathering together to remember and to encourage one another with hope that there will be change in the future. Amen.
Thank you very much, Amanda, for offering those words from the Holy Scripture. And thank you all for having me be here today. I am just really grateful to be invited to have some time to speak and share my thoughts at this really meaningful event. My name is Weston. I use he, him, or they, them pronouns, and I am a white guy with a black and pink baseball cap and a ginger beard and a sweatshirt that says "Beloved Babe of God." I am not used to praying in interfaith areas, so we're just going to go for it here. But I just thought I would offer that for me, prayer is the art of bringing language to the deepest yearnings of our hearts and offering that language to our Creator. And I thought in this group, because poetry is the art form that is speaking to us, that will be continuing to speak to us throughout this vigil, that I chose a poem that I found that I think would be really good for us to hear today. It's from Tears and Laughter by Khalil Gibran. It's a portion of the poem called The Poet. So this is how it goes. This is the poet, whom the people ignore in this life, and who is recognized only after he bids the earthly world farewell and returns to his arbor in heaven. This is the poet, who asks not of humanity but a smile. This is the poet, whose spirits ascends and fills the firmament with beautiful sayings. Yet the people deny themselves his radiance, Until when shall the people remain asleep? Until when shall they continue to glorify those who attain greatness by moments of advantage? How long shall they ignore those who enable them to see the beauty of their spirit, symbol of peace and love? Until when shall human beings honor the dead and forget the living who spend their lives encircled in misery and who consume themselves like burning candles to illuminate the way for the ignorant and lead them into the path of light? Poet, you are the life of this life, and you have triumphed over the ages despite their severity. Poet, you will one day rule the hearts, and therefore your kingdom has no ending. Poet, examine your crown of thorns. You will find concealed in it a budding wreath of laurel. So from these words, I took from these words some wisdom and I wove them into my own prayer poem, which I'll share now. Let us pray. God of our past, present, and future, God of spirit and of flesh and of words, God of death, God of life, God of hope. We thank you for this day and for this gathering of poets, poets of words, poets of wisdom, poets of care, poets of action, poets of friendship, poets who worship life out of proximity to death. God, come be with us on this day as we lament those poets we love but see, hear, and touch no longer. We lament the lives of your poets who have, through death, transformed to something beyond our knowing. We lament the bodies that we can no longer hold, the words we can no longer hear, the laughter and the tears we no longer share. Be with us in this lament and beyond. Beyond, and show your power to this world. Show your mercy and your justice to your ongoing creation, that we may learn how to honor the living as fully as we honor the dead, that we may weave poems of love and wisdom and strength and bravery and faithfulness and friendship and hope and grief and joy, that these poems become a balm for the healing of our souls, and that the wounds from our thorny crowns be transformed into the wreaths of laurel. Amen.
Amen.
Pastor
Amen.
Amanda Bolt for the prayers.
Amen.
Thank you. Amen.
Thank you, Weston, for that. Hello, everybody. I'm Al, a reality poet. I'm a black male, bald head with a beard and a blue sweatshirt, navy blue sweatshirt. And I would just like to take a moment of silence for that. Briefly. And now I would like to read these names of people and residents of Cola and who we actually lost during COVID. And these residents was actually like more like family because we see these residents every day, and to see that they're not there in certain places in the routine, it hurts. Harrison Furlington loved to be outside by the water. Once that was taken from him, he fell into deep depression. He was very kind and respectful to our staff and always thoughtful of his family.
Roy Watson powerfully shared his story to steer kids away from drugs, saying with a tear in his eye, "I've never been a good example of what to be, but I am damn good example of what not to be."
Malika Dice never had much to say with words, but spoke volumes with her actions. She was a great and gentle, kind person
Perry was a good nurse, and knowing her made me respect and accept people in the gay community.
Lucky always had a joke to tell.
Jack was a quiet guy who would sit by himself and watch TV.
Ronald Crawford was a great roommate.
Anthony White was always reading his Bible.
Maureen Robin was full of life and joy.
Eve Williams liked to hang out with the guys.
Cynthia Beth always said hi and how you doing to everybody.
Maria Sarah Croft enjoyed chatting with other residents in the day room.
Paul Horton always spoke his mind, no matter who he was talking to or what about. He loved his family.
Kenny York was a talented piano player and very proud of his children.
Richie loved cappuccinos.
Richard Coleman was a good friend and a supporter of Open Doors. He was never too busy to help anyone. He loved playing spades and watching the Mets games.
Thank you for that. And now we're gonna actually introduce our guest speakers, or as far as the poets, just the poetry section. And our first poet, I would like to introduce the reality poet, Jay, co-director of Fight the Dry Grass.
Hello, everybody. My name is Jay. I'm an Open Doors member and reality poet, and I am also the co-director of our film, Fight the Dry Grass. I'm a Latinx Spanish light-skinned man wearing a Bulls hat, a Bulls sweatshirt, and a black and white Nazi Home Lives Matter shirt. And I am talking to you from the ancestral land of the Lenape people. And I'm going to read a poem that I wrote a few years ago called I'm Still Standing. I have gone through a lot of hard times in my life, disappointing a lot of people, never did what's right, never understood that in order to be successful, first of all, I had to be grateful. I had to rid myself of all the chaos and pain that kept following me to this day. Went through times of sadness and darkness that led to emotional blindness, sank into the deepest of holes without a way to climb back to the top. But today I'm still standing, better than I ever did, looking like a true survivor, feeling like I always win. With the help or support of my new Open Doors family, I feel like I'm living in a new galaxy. It's a brand new reality for me. Makes me think different, makes me feel free. I will always cherish what I have. Always remembering that when you are falling, you have to fall with class. And as I go on with my journey, I will never feel lonely because today I'm still standing after all this time, picking up the pieces of my life without worries on my mind and my Open Doors family by my side. I'm still standing.
That's beautiful.
Awesome, Jay. Thank you so much. One of my thoughts of the day says, the world is full of good people. If you can't find one, be one. Our next speaker is Nancy Stevens, after which Shannon will give us her poem.
Thank you so much. As you just heard, my name is Nancy Stevens, and I am a skilled nursing facility resident and active advocate, and so much more. And I reside in Southern California. I am Asian Pacific Islander, and I have long, dark brown hair, and I am coming to you from the Korea Indian grounds of Southern California, just outside of Palm Springs. I won't describe my clothing because you can't see it. My hair is everywhere, but just thank you so much for sharing your emotion and just really powerful words of solace and comfort. And I know there's a lot more coming, so this is an incredible event. Thank you, Francine, for the introduction. You're my sweet sister in advocacy, but you and the entire Kohler crew are so much more than just residents and advocates. So I'm so honored and extremely humbled to have been asked by you all to speak in memory of those we've loved and lost. I hope to nurture your hearts tonight and gently guide our healing and growing process moving forward. Tonight, as we gather in solemn remembrance, our hearts heavy with the loss of precious loved ones who resided in nursing homes across the country, we come together not only to mourn, but to honor them. We stand united to pay tribute to the lives lost within nursing homes during the challenging times of the pandemic. Each individual we've lost was not just a room number or a statistic. They were our beloved residents, our cherished family members, our dear friends, and our respected neighbors. They will forever hold a special place in our memories and in our hearts. The experience of nursing home residents who passed during the pandemic was deeply tragic and heartbreaking. Many were isolated from their families and loved ones due to draconian safety protocols, which intensified feelings of loneliness and abandonment. The absence of familiar faces during their final moments compounded the emotional toll on both residents and their families, leaving lasting scars on those of us who are left to grieve. In the face of such adversities, our beloved ones in nursing homes endured much more than their fair share of unimaginable challenges. Separated from loved ones, alone, without the legal right to have anyone of their choosing to be by their side in their darkest hours of need, they exemplified true resilience, utmost grace, and unwavering courage. What it took for them to face each day, we should only hope to be half that brave. Their strength in the face of uncertainty serves as a beacon of inspiration to us all. Tonight, as we light candles of sweet remembrance, let us illuminate the memories of those we've lost, not with tears of sorrow, but with the warm glow of love and appreciation. Each flickering flame symbolizes a life lived, a story told, and a legacy left behind. Let us take a moment now to express our deepest gratitude to the dedicated healthcare workers who tirelessly cared for our loved ones during their darkest days of the pandemic. Their selfless sacrifice, compassion, and unwavering commitment to provide comfort and dignity to those of us in need will forever be etched in our hearts. As we stand together in solidarity, let us vow to honor the memory of those we've lost by advocating for change, by ensuring that every nursing home resident receives the care, respect, and dignity we deserve. Let us pledge to work tirelessly to prevent such tragedies from ever happening again. And let us remember, while the night may be dark and the road ahead may seem long, we are not alone. Together, as a community bound by love and compassion, we will navigate through the darkness and emerge stronger, more resilient, and more united than before. May the loving memories of our beloved nursing home residents forever be a blessing, and may their spirits continue to shine brightly in our hearts. While they may no longer be with us physically, their spirit and memories they created still bind us together as a community. So let's celebrate their lives, the joy they brought, and the love they shared. As we navigate these difficult moments, let us lean on each other for support, understanding, and compassion. Let's cherish the memories we hold dear and carry their legacy forward with pride and love. I'd also like to acknowledge with gratitude the unpaid essential caregivers in attendance with us tonight. As we move forward and heal with time, tears, and talking, we must all do our part to make sure our loved ones who have passed did not go in vain by fighting for the rights of surviving nursing home residents. Please tell decision makers to support essential resident designated support people who are our chosen family, loved ones, our neighbors, and spiritual advisors to prevent the kind of pain and loss we have all had to endure. One way to honor the precious people we lift up by light today is to contact our legislators' offices and tell them you want them to support nursing home resident designated essential caregiver laws. The lasting negative consequences and health safety risks that are a direct cause of isolation of nursing home residents have been widely researched, proven, and reported by media, scholars, and advocates. Now it's up to us to advocate on behalf of nursing home residents across the country in the names of our beloved friends and family who have gone, and in a rallying cry of nursing home lives matter. Having a resident designated support person in a nursing home with access to a loved one is crucial for several reasons. Advocacy. The designated support person can advocate for the resident's needs, preferences, and rights, ensuring they receive their appropriate care and attention. Communication. They serve as a liaison between the resident, their family, and nursing home staff, facilitating clear and effective communication. Emotional support. We residents often benefit from having a familiar and trusted individual present to provide emotional support, especially during difficult times or medical procedures. Continuity of care. The designated support person can provide valuable information about the resident's medical history, personal preferences, and routines, contributing to their better continuity of care. Quality of life. Their presence can enhance the resident's quality of life by providing companionship, touch, engagement, and a sense of security. Empowerment. Having a support person empowers the resident by giving them a voice in their own care decisions and promoting autonomy and self-determination. Overall, the resident designated support person plays a vital role in promoting the well-being and quality of care for nursing home residents. In addition to voicing your support for essential caregivers, I implore you all to include your input on the FTC and interagency's request for public information in regards to the negative consequences of corporate greed in healthcare. Pete, you spoke eloquently about this just a few moments ago, and specifically nursing homes. Now is our chance to do our parts to put our cherished people before profits. You can find the request for information page on this topic by searching for the words RFI, consolidation, nursing homes, and McKnight to find the easiest link to input your information. Thank you, Open Doors. Thank you, Fire Crew. Thank you, Kohler, and all of those in the creation of this beautiful event, the 4th Annual Nursing Home Lives Matter Vigil. Thank you for bringing communities together to honor and share remembrances. Thank you to the amazing community members and organizations who support Open Doors and the Kohler residents. It's true that many nursing home residents feel isolated from their communities, which makes events like this vigil even more meaningful to us. Your presence and appreciation for this event are testament to the strength and resilience within your community. Let us continue to stand together, offering support, compassion, and companionship to each other, ensuring that no one feels alone, because nursing home lives matter. And Kohler, keep shining your lights. Our eyes are open, our hearts are open. We hear you and we see you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Nancy. That was so beautiful. Thank you. Okay. Shannon, you're up.
Hi, everybody. I am a female with, I'm a white female with black hair and a black jacket on. And my poem is called Remember. When I look back, I can't believe we made it through that ordeal. We will never forget the pandemic, nor shall we let our loved ones die in vain. We'll remember those lives we lost by honoring our loved ones by speaking out. Let's not forget our family and friends that still reside in nursing homes. Let's continue their fight because they also have rights. And let us remember nursing homes lives matter. Thanks.
Thank you, Shannon.
Thank you, Shannon. This next person I will introduce, she is the co-president of her nursing home, president of statewide coalition of resident council presidents on steering committee for Moving Forward Nursing Home Quality Coalition, Jeanette Sullivan Martinez. Give it up for her.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me tonight. It's been an honor and a pleasure to meet and get to know the members of Open Doors. And I feel extremely honored that you've asked me to participate in this event tonight. I'd like to start with, in the memory of those who left us too soon. We remember you in the morning, in the night, when we look at the stars, a song, a place, a smell. You're always with us. And I've greatly appreciated the words that have already been shared tonight with remembering our loved ones and missing those that we've lost through COVID. That's the bad side of COVID. The good side of COVID is that it has awakened the world to what needs to be done for people living in nursing homes and for people assisting those living at home or even in the nursing home themselves. The Essential Caregiver Act that was spoken of, Nancy shared so beautifully. Yes, we need more representation through all of our states to see that be federally mandated to go through, that so no resident ever again will have to be by themselves as they struggle day to day and possibly be so sick that they pass from this illness. They should not have to do that alone. I am so very grateful that there has been so much attention and it's brought together many, many different communities across the world and across the United States to be willing to fight and to stand and to make a wave so that changes can be made for people in nursing homes. Nursing homes, as you all know, are not places where people go to die. That's what they used to be viewed at. Nursing homes now are places where people go to live for as long as they can, for the best as they can. And I'm so inspired by those at Open Doors for all the hard work that you've done just in your community and your community support and allowing you to pursue those things that you love and want to do, and encouraging others near you to do so, getting your community to be a part of who you are in your nursing home. That is inspiring to those of us looking out, looking in from the outside to be able to do that for our own communities as well. The words that you put through with Fire Through Dry Grass has been a booming effect in the nursing home industry. And we're so grateful for your dedication and honesty and openness and just sharing your lives completely with the world, because I do believe it may seem like a small thing to some, but it makes a huge difference for those of us that are living this life day to day. So I commend you and I encourage you to keep up the good work. In closing, I would like to say, be thankful for today and never take anyone or anything for granted. Life is a blessing. May your cup overflow with blessings of joy, peace, hope, and most of all, love. God bless you all, and thank you again for having me tonight.
Thank you so much, Jeanette. Much appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next poet coming up, we have Teresa, reality poet. Teresa.
Hello, my name is Teresa. I'm a Black woman with glasses and a black long sleeve shirt. And my poetry is I Still Mourn. It's been over 3 years since you passed, but I still mourn. You left a hole in my heart that can never be filled, so I continue to mourn. My days were once filled with laughter. Now my nights are filled with loneliness. I tried to reminisce about the good times that we shared, hoping that it would help me heal, but I still mourn. And even as the pain lingers, I still yearn for joy. As they say, time heals all wounds, and I'm still waiting.
Thank you, Teresa. Thank you so much. Another thought says, it all begins and ends in your mind. What you give power to has power over you. We'll now hear from Alice Bunner.
Well, hello, everybody. I'm just, as I always am when I have an opportunity to spend time with the reality poets and Open Doors, I'm just blown away by how your words inspire all of us to take action. You bring, forward the voice of so many people. You remembered them beautifully this evening, people who are gone now, but you keep them not only in your memory, you keep introducing them to people like me who maybe never knew some of those individuals, but you make their voices come alive again. And that's something of value that not everyone can do. And by doing it through poetry and by doing it through art and weaving together these events that that actually happened with your thoughts and your prayers and your motivating ideas. You get people like myself and many others who are involved in a lot of different organizations to come together, and every morning when we wake up, we redouble our efforts, and we are inspired by words such as Amanda's, where she said, "We don't grow weary in doing good." I don't know. There are days when I feel pretty weary, I gotta say, but it's not going to stop any of us from doing this work, right? Because we have a lot to do. People who are living in nursing homes right now, many of you who are on this call, some of us like myself who've lived in a nursing home for 3 weeks in the last 5 years, it matters. It should matter to all of us. It should matter to every one of us, because it is about public health and communities. It's not just about people who live in nursing homes. It's for all of us. And many people on this call do education. Many of you on this call do advocacy. Many of you advocate for policies. You go to the state house in your state. Maybe some of you go to Congress and talk about this stuff. It really matters, because we know nursing homes, sadly, have been sort of the best kept secret for a long time, where, people who are making policy, some of them are wonderful and they visit nursing homes and they know a lot, and others need us to go back and to educate and advocate and help them understand who lives in nursing homes, what their daily life is like, who works in nursing homes, and what else we need to do. I'm very gratified to see that on this call tonight, we have many members, not only of Reality Poets and Open Doors, but we have members of the Moving Forward Coalition. People who've spoken, Jeanette, who spoke right before me, who's on our steering committee. And I can't even name all the people, Anne and Karen and Mately and, others who are on this call, Nancy, Peter. And it really matters that we're hearing from you as part of the work that we're trying to do. So we will continue to take action every day as much as we can. We want to be a powerful force, and we need you for that. It's not me speaking that matters. That it doesn't matter at all. What matters is that you're speaking up, and we are working really hard to continue to hear your voice and promote it and make it grow more and more powerful every single day. So I'll just end by saying thank you so much to all of you. Reach out anytime. We want to continue to really strengthen everything that we can do together. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Alice. So beautiful also. Thank you. Tito, you're up next.
How you doing? My name is Tito, reality poet, open doors. I'm a lamb male, black, a brown skin with glasses. I'm in bed right now, I'm on observation, but I miss this reunion and this event. And my poem called Nursing Home Blues. It goes like this: Nursing Home Blues. People don't have a clue. What I go through on the regular, just don't know what to do. The staff seems to forget they could be in the same position and then they'll regret. They just here for the money, and it's a shame. The way they treat us is really inhumane. We be dirty for hours. This thing gotta stop. My body's breaking down. You think they care? I think not. I ring the bell to get help, and that doesn't work. The situation really seems to get really worse. There's no patient rights. That's the thing of the past. Living here is like living fire through dry grass. Nursing home life matters as a straight up fact. I wish people get their things together and learn how to act. Ever since the pandemic, things ain't been the same. This thing is really, really messing with my brain. I wish someone would care. I need a helping hand. I really wish someone would really understand. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tito. Well done. Thank you.
Thank you, Tito. Now, the next person I would like to introduce, he's dope. He's a part of Open Doors. I mean, I'm gonna let you let him introduce himself a little more. Give it up for Alex Echelon.
Hey, hey everyone. Um, oh gosh, thanks for the intro, L. Hey everyone, it's Alex. Yeah, Alex in the house. I see the chats live. Wow. Oh my God. I have so many different emotions. And it's so funny. I've got words, I've got things to say, I've got thoughts. I thought a lot about like, you know, I volunteered to speak tonight because I don't speak at our events very often. Yeah, I don't think, like I know, I understand that I don't feel like it's about credit or like getting the chance to like, be seen or that sort of thing, but I do think it is important to, take a stand. Um Not even just like politically, right? Like I think you know, so much of being on the right side of history or like what we're here for, yeah, like it's simple to understand injustice when you see it, or so it should be, right? But for whatever reason, obviously, we still fight this uphill battle. Um and tonight is not about being discouraged. It's also not about feeling good. I think that it's just about being. Wow. See, I'm trying not to laugh because the chat's going crazy. Pete hit me with the no cussing. Oh my God. I'm gonna get back to my speech. But no, I'm gonna try not to get distracted. I really do think that I think that we're just here. We're just here together. And we're here right now, and we spend so much time every single, not just every day, but like I feel like in advance of each event, it's always about those action items. Oh, what are we going to hit people with? How are we going to really engage people? And I do, I think that like obviously, you got to help people to help you, right? Like yeah, totally, sign the bill of rights, buy a t-shirt, donate, all this stuff. Like this is these are the tools that we feel like we can use. But I really do know that the most important thing we can do is to just be here, just to show up and just to be here. You can't put a price on it. You can only be one place at a time. um I know that that's true. And so, with all that being said, it's some new faces here, but it's a lot of obviously many of us know each other, So I just want to thank you all for coming out tonight. Yeah, this event, it means a lot. We put a lot into it, right? And y'all are the ones who are here. So, a round of applause to the audience. Big ups to y'all. Um, Yeah, and it's so funny, right? Because like it's almost like we're preaching to a choir. Like, is this an echo chamber? Like, talk about how many of us it's so crazy because when we were talking about the people we want to reach out to speak, I really wanted to, bring in people who we work with, people we've been alongside and in community with for the past year, or not just the past year, but like like we're the ones doing this together, right? Y'all are the ones who I really want to. It's so funny, Alice, here, and you'd be like, "Oh, it's not about me talking XYZ." Da, 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 da. No, like, I mean, hey, like, we're the ones who showed up, right? Like, aren't we the ones who are here? It's so crazy. Vince has heard me say so many times as recently as like, I'm not worried about who didn't come to the Zoom call. I'm trying to cook with whoever is on the call. Like, I mean, there's a lot of ways to be right, but I mean that actual like realness is just showing up, So that's what we're here for, right? That's what we're doing. Yeah, and it's so crazy because trying to get someone to care, that feels impossible. Like it's crazy. Like we do, obviously we experience all this success in a way. Like I always feel like I was talking to Vince about. I reference my conversation with Vince so much because like I feel like a lot of what I understand about this work on the margin is from those conversations. But like we have progress and we see it, and sometimes it does show up as a dollar amount, like when that's the number of success. But then, like, then we all come back together, and like when it's too late, it's too late. When it when the worst is happening, like none of that really matters. So it's like, I don't know, it's kind of tough. Like, people need you to show them what they're not looking at. And again, like I said, when it's too late, it just feels like you can't win, like so I don't know, it's weird. Like, you can ask for help, you can show someone help, you can show someone how to help, but like if they're not gonna care, if they're not gonna like sit up and like, it's like you can show someone 1,000 times how they can support you. And I don't know, it's weird. Like in the advocacy game, with the people who we bring to these and stuff, yeah, it's like that's one sector. And then the people who we actually have a hard time reaching, and not to say people have a hard time reaching, but the people who like, they might even know what's happening, right? And it's like, that's just not really their prerogative. Um, Obviously, the onus falls on us to make people who can affect change care. We talk a lot about culture change versus policy change. Being a nonprofit, of course, there's rules around, all this is like little nuances and whatnot, right? But like, I understand that, like, yeah, making people really feel you and like connect with us. um I think the art goes a really long way toward that. I think that is what's helped us stand out, is like our, it's so funny. I think that like the obvious thing to think of is the documentary, but we're not just talking about the documentary, right? Like, it's so crazy because like I am extremely humbled in this room of poets. Like, I'm a songwriter, but like I always felt like, I don't know, when it comes to writing poems, like it's 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 a lot high pressure, especially when I got people like Francine and Pete, right? And L. So like, I don't know, it's not like I wasn't gonna come here and read a poem. Like, what was I gonna do, right? So I don't know, right? I'm just here, right? And I'm telling y'all what this is, I see it. So everyone who's been a part of NHLM, our whole community, again, not just last year, like before I was ever around, you know, yeah, what we've done is lasting. This is going past us, whether you like it or not, so we're making an impact. Yeah, and it's, yeah, so like, in spite of being discouraged all the time, all these feelings, and oh, it's this advocacy thing, it's a slow change, bills take years. It the years are gonna pass, and what we did is still gonna have happened, so this is lasting. And with all that being said, I am gonna play a song for y'all. Um, and funny enough, let me say a couple things before I even play the song. Like, I did a sound check beforehand with Zana, and before that one, I did a sound check personally, right? Like, I recorded a Zoom of me playing, see how it's gonna come out on y'all's end, and like, no, really, some of you, I mean, anyone who plays music over the past 4 years has learned our instruments don't do what we want in Zoom, right? But like, that's not what it's about. Like, it's not like I'm not playing this music so y'all think I'm a great guitar player. Like, that's not what I'm, you see what I'm saying? Like, that's not what I'm here for. Like, when I was telling you before about like just showing up, literally, it's like, I feel we're displaced, but like in a positive sense, like, we are the buoyancy keeping this afloat, right? Like, that's what us taking up space each day here is doing, right? So in the same way that works, me playing this music, this song Day of Wine and Roses, is crazy. And I'm anyone who's a real jazz head, you're probably gonna, you possibly will recognize whose transcription this is, but not because of how well I played it. And that's the thing, I'm not worried. And the last thing I want to say too before I get into it, those who know me and have known me for as long as I've been at Open Doors, like, yeah, I got hurt really badly trying to learn how to play this song. It's like this song took me out of commission for over a year. I could, like, not just this song, it's not how injuries work, but that's when it happened. So I'm not playing this to, show off my chops on the guitar. I'm playing this one because I never got to think about this song again, right? I can just get it out. I gave it my go, but I'm also doing it just so you can see me, because I make music. I don't even really want to make music, right? Like, I just play music because it's what I do, you know. So that's how I'm gonna show up in this space, and that's gonna be the version of me I'll get. So without further ado, here goes nothing, right?
That's for Alex.
Thank you. Thank you.
Ashe.
This next poet that's coming heading up on the stage or on the screen, I should say, is another reality poet, also known, some know him as Val, some know him as the Vardis. Give it up for Val.
How you doing? I'm a black male, part of Open Doors, black hat on, black hoodie, black jacket. How the fuck am I selfish? And you saying that all I do is think about myself when I'm the one that had to drive this wheelchair all by myself and don't have many people worried about me or my health. If I was selfish, I would have been killed myself. But I'm thinking of how others would feel instead of myself. How it would affect some people and their health. And you got to know to say that I'm selfish and only concerned about myself. How the fuck am I selfish? When the first time that I got shot, it was nothing that I did myself in the ambulance fighting for my life all by myself, getting better, doing therapy all by myself. Now I'm spinning the hood looking for the guy that shot me by myself. Sent him a message that I'm gonna kill him all by myself. So he better start worrying about his health. How the fuck am I selfish when I have plans for us to get rich? But you started moving funny and acting just like a bitch. While I'm still being my while I'm still being myself, I would never switch. I can only speak about myself and take responsibility for nobody but myself. How the fuck am I selfish when I'm the one that brought you out on the block, showed you how to back up with the first rock? When we did the robbery, it could have been all bars. Instead, I made sure that it was all ours and was the only one that was behind bars, staring at a staring at a jail cell window, looking at the stars. But I'm selfish. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Val. Russell, are you still prepared?
I'm here.
Okay.
Well, thank you. And I'm a white man. I'm wearing a blue button-down shirt and a navy tie with red dots on it and a dark jacket. Um, well, I'll just be brief. It's a tremendous honor and privilege to be part of this vigil. And with this event, I sort of think back to what's brought us here, and obviously it's an extraordinary amount of tragedy. Thinking back to COVID, thinking back to other challenges um, that I know COLA residents and other folks in nursing homes have experienced. Um, but I think there's also a great deal of progress that has brought us to where we are. I think many things have changed for the better. I think the movement that you guys have built is extraordinary. And this event, year after year, is a testament to that. And this year, this fantastic event is a testament to that. I think there's progress that's been made in terms of improving the situations for people in nursing homes and bringing visibility to the challenges that residents face. And so there's been heartbreak, but also, positives bringing us here today. And the key for all of us and the challenge for all of us, and what I think we all know we need to do and recommit ourselves to, is to continue to fight for the rights and dignity and lives of people in nursing homes, and for all of us to do our part, and as allies or as residents, and to keep this fight going, to keep building this movement, to keep it growing, and to continue to strengthen it, and to continue to make real progress in people's lives. And so I know that everybody here is committed to doing that. I know we're going to keep working on that. And it's just a privilege to be part of that process with all of you.
Thank you so much, Russell. We appreciate you. Thank you. Before Rachel come, I'll just read another thought, which says, sometimes life gives you a second chance because you weren't ready the first time. Rachel, you're up.
Beautiful.
Lovely, Rachel. Thank you so much. So beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. Just about to start closing out. Um, would like to thank everybody being here at this fourth annual Nursing Home Lives Matter Vigil. But before we go, I would like to take off with a poem called Return, Dedicated Love, Dedicated Action. The return of dedicated love, dedicated action. How shall I return? It's being dedicated. What should the action of response is? The love that is shown and given. The return of dedicated love, dedicated action is here for those whose lives we lost during COVID. Hope your presence is among us tonight in the light of this poem. Dedicated love is those who supported and stood near during the time of fear. Dedicated action is nursing home lives matter and our response. Dedicated love is what we give to heal and continue to live. Dedicated action, we not gonna give up to fight for the rights and tough days with nights for nursing home residents, because it's only right. Dedicated love, once again, put your hands together for those we lost. May your soul be blessed. The return of dedicated love and dedicated action. Thank you.
Thank you, El. So powerful. Smile a while and give your face a rest. Wave your hands to the ones you love the best. Then shake hands with those nearby and greet them with a smile.
That
Thank
was
you all for
awesome.
being here. Thank
So
you.
beautiful. Thanks,
Thank you.
Francine.
That was awesome.
Thank you,
Would
Nancy.
anybody mind if I shared a poem?
Oh, go right
Oh,
ahead.
please, go ahead.
This poem was found in the belongings of a woman who died in the geriatric ward of a nursing home in England, and it was found among her possessions. And the staff was so impressed that copies were made and distributed to the entire staff. But it cries for recognition of a common humanity, and that it could have been written to any one of us. There's actually a nurse or a CNA who replied to the poem. In honor of the deceased nursing home resident who wrote the original. What do you see, nurse? What do you see? Are you thinking when you look at me? A crabbed old woman, not very wise, uncertain of habit, with faraway eyes, who dribbles her food and makes no reply. When you say in a loud voice, I do wish you'd try. Who seems not to notice the things that you do and forever is losing a stocking or shoe, resisting or not lets you do as you will, with bathing and feeding the long day to fill. Is that what you're thinking? Is that what you see? Then open your eyes, nurse, you're not looking at me. I'll tell you who I am as I sit here so still, as I move at your bidding and eat at your will. I'm a small child of 10 with a father and mother, brothers and sisters who love one another. A young girl of 16 with wings on her feet, dreaming that soon a love she'll meet. A bride at 20, my heart gives a leap, remembering the vows that I promised to keep. At 25 now, I have young of my own, who need me to build a secure, happy home. A woman of 30, my young now grow fast, bound together with ties that should always last. At 40, my young sons have grown up and gone, but my man is beside me to see I don't mourn. At 50, once more, babies play around my knee. Again, we know children, my loved one and me. Dark days are upon me, my husband is dead. I look at the future and I shudder with dread. For my young are all rearing young of their own, and I think of the years and the love that I've known. I'm an old woman now, and nature is cruel. 'Tis her just to make old age look like a fool. The body it crumbles, grace and vigor depart. There is a stone where I once had a heart. But inside this old carcass, a young girl still dwells, and now again my bittered heart swells. I remember the joys and I remember the pain, and I'm loving and living life over again. I think of the years all too few gone too fast and accept the stark fact that nothing can last. So open your eyes, nurse, open and see, not a crabbed old woman. Look closer, see me. And the CNA's reply was, what do you see, you ask? What do we see? Yes, we are looking when looking at thee. We may seem to be hard when we hurry or fuss, but there's many of you and too few of us. We would like far more time to sit with you and talk, to bathe you and feed you and help you to walk, to hear of your lives and the things you have done, your childhood, your husband, your daughter, your son. But time is against us. There's too much to do. Patients too many and nurses too few. We grieve when we see you so sad and alone, with nobody near you, no friends of your own. We feel all your pain and know of your fear, that nobody cares now your end is so near. But nurses are people with feelings as well, and when we're together, you'll often hear tell of the dearest old Gran in the very end bed, of the lovely old dad and the things that he said. We speak with compassion of love and feel sad when we think of your lives and the joys that you've had. When the time has arrived for you to depart, you leave us behind with an ache in our heart. When you sleep the long sleep, no more worries or care. There are other people and we must be there. So please understand us as we hurry and fuss. There are many of you and so few of us.
Lovely.
Sharing that.
Thank you. So, so beautiful. Thank you. Alex, any closing?
Yeah, hey everyone. Thank y'all so much for being here. I just got too much more to say, Thanks for being here. The event's wrapped up. We're basically done here. All I really want to mention, to our supporters and Carrie's in here. People have been asking us about, oh, where can I get a T-shirt? Where can I get a T-shirt? And yeah, see, Tom's got Tom's going. Hey, we finally got the web store up. I dropped a link in chat. You can also find it on the website if you go to opendoorsnyc.org and go to the NHLM page. You can also type in nursinghomelivesmatter.org, I believe, and it'll take you directly there. But that I'm also gonna drop it in the chat here one more time. But yeah, feel free to grab a shirt. That's one way you can support us. But honestly, like I said before, thankful enough to have y'all here. Like that's right. Like this was sick.
Thank you guys. You're amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
This was incredible. Thank you, everyone.
See
It's
you
so great
guys.
to have honored those that have been lost, and also that, as so many people have stated, that just empowers us and fuels us to want to move forward, do the work.
Thank you, Jane.
We're so lucky to be here.